Good morning, everyone. This is Chrisi from Solstice ATR and Vulcan Capital Research. Hope everybody's doing well. I want to make this trading simpler for the average guy or a professional trader. Let's first start by taking a look at the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Russell, and the Dow combination of those instruments. Last week, if we can zoom in and take a look at the instrument, we had the week before a down week. Then eventually we touched the 50 SMA in the channel, which we broke through. We had this minor channel up here and we fell through it. And we created this island. And eventually Monday we had an inside day on the four instruments. Then we gap up on Tuesday. We gap up on Wednesday. It's Thursday we have a higher high from the prior week. And Friday we gapped down and couldn't finish the week closing high, but the overall week is bullish. We're inside those two channel continuation as long as we don't revisit the 38.2 fib or this gap here which I marked between these two candles, or this one, we're going to stay bullish to the upside. So let's take a look at the small cap first of all, /RTY, or you can use the IWM, which is the two spiders. Come on. Okay, if you noticed, the Russell had looked up, came back down. Monday had an inside day. Tuesday cleared the prior, gap down. On Wednesday, we cleared this island reversal. We had a Thursday look above and eventually failed. If you notice, the Russell is still lower than the prior high. We went 2/3 of the move, came back to the 38.2 fib. If the Russell fails here, watch to the downside. If the Russell U-turns and holds that 50 SMA, comes back up, it may create a shoulder, a head. I mean, this is the head of it. Is this the other shoulder going back up? So keep an eye on which way the Russell will lead, because the small cap usually is the canary in the coal mine. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq NQ. The Nasdaq 100, if you noticed, the prior week we came back down, went up, came back down, and eventually Monday we have an inside day. Tuesday, great day up. Wednesday was an inside to up day. Thursday was a higher. We went a little bit above, and on Friday we came back in, but we stayed inside that candle. Make sure this was the prior breakout on the Nasdaq. We don't fall back to the 18 SMA, the channel, then the 50 SMA. If you notice, we had way further down on this area, from the 18 to the 50. Now we are a little bit extended on the Nasdaq. As long as we're above the 50 and the 18, we're still bullish. I'm not saying, watch the trend. If there's a change on Monday, remember, we have the coronavirus that not everybody shrugged away as if nothing has happened. Let's take a look at the Fortune 500 company. This is the ES. The small cap, the E-mini, which is the mini futures for the S&P 500. I'm not using the SPX, just to show you. There was two gaps here. We had this island here. We looked at the 50 SMA. Monday we had an inside day of the Friday range. Tuesday we cleared the gap. We cleared this candle that was an engulfing candle. We clear it. Then we had a Wednesday push higher, Thursday high, and eventually came back in. We're still holding the 18 SMA, and we're holding the 50 SMA. And if you notice, we had a prior high. We're inside those two channel continuation to the upside. So what I'd like to do, go over the volume profile in the style here. If you look at it, we have standard candles. If I go to the monkey bars, this showing the daily, I convert the daily 3-month to a 20-day 78-minute, and what I can show you is this on the pushes. This has the overnight gaps included in it. If I take the overnight gaps, if you notice, we went down, we had the island Monday inside, Tuesday up, Wednesday up, Thursday up, Friday inside the prior range, but we closed lower than that Thursday candle. We're still above this area, but if I do go to style in the setting, and if we take the overnight high off, this is what I want everybody to learn. Remember, overnight action is usually set sometimes in the overnight, and we can figure out where the wicks are, where the highs and lows are, and where are the gaps. If I apply it, if you notice, this is the gap that I had marked. We have this small gap here that we marked here. You see it on the candles. So as long as we're above this gap and we can continue higher, that would be great. If we fall back through the gaps and fill the second gap, we have 8 gaps below us on the daily chart, and we have 13 VPOCs. The VPOCs are volume, which is price, which is considered to be point of control. The point of control, which I'm going to explain a little bit, I'm just going to go in here and show you on those 4 days what they mean by it. A point of control is basically, let's zoom in a little bit more to make it clearer, and I'm going to go to a 15-minute, okay? So you can see it a little bit more clearer. Okay. The value area high is here. The value area is low here. Where most price was spent in time is actually right here. This is a POC. Where the time most spent is basically here, where most price action, if you notice, these two were almost identical. Then eventually we shifted lower and we closed right here at the 33.26. This is the close. This is the open. This is the open. This is the close on Thursday. So that's what they mean by POC, point of control. The other one is time and price we most spent. I mean, if I want to show you this a little bit differently, what I'm going to go is do the 5-minute bar. Sometimes they're going to vary where most price, where most time was spent, and where most volume was spent. Sometimes they are identical, sometimes they are not. It depends on the momentum when they push price up or they push price down. So if I go now to candles and go setting, let's go 15-minute or 20-day. Just go here, go to candles, setting, go back to candles. And if you notice on the daily chart, when we coming back up, these are the gaps I was talking about. You can see it here in the candle, you can see it here. But if I go back and highlight the price action, and now overnight, I go to setting, we go futures, highlight the overnight and extended hours, then those gaps are usually, some of them are filled, some are not, because due to the price that happened in the overnight. You can see like here, it shows that they are full. Here they show that they are full, but unfortunately this price happened in the overnight action, and this is why they do not show up on the candles. So if I go here once again to style, go to setting, oops, sorry, not in the setting, go style, go back to the monkey bars, and I'm going to show you this, how they look like. On the monkey bars, they totally way different when they fill the gaps. If you notice, this was the price, last week. Come up, we had this island, we tried to go up, and we finished down here. Then Monday we open inside the Friday's range, and we continue higher. Then we clear this prior, where the open was, where the close was. We continue higher. Tuesday we open here, we close up here. If you notice, I'm just going to zoom in so now you can start seeing how the price is working. So we open here, we move up here, and where this is where the puck shifted to, because we had a straight push up in the open. We consolidated in this range in that day, in that where most time was spent, and eventually the puck shifted higher in the afternoon. The same thing here, we open here, we push higher, and we close up here where the puck was. So basically now you can get a better idea how to use monkey bars in candles in order to keep you at a harm's way when you're looking at gaps and price action. Go back to standard and let's go look at the GC. This is the gold. And if you notice, gold had a nice rounded bottom, was trying to create a cup and handle. Unfortunately, it failed that channel. We fell down. As long as we're below the 1586, the fear gauge is not there. Look for the retracement of the 50. If we break the 85.93 area, then look for the upside. So far, we are range bound in gold. Take a look at oil. CL seems to be interesting on the weekly chart and the daily chart. We had prior, support and resistance in that 52, 53 area. We eventually fell down, 100% of the movement. We fell a little bit lower. I'm looking for consolidation. If we clear the 52.36, I'm expecting, the 54.75 to be retested, and that's something to keep an eye on. Exxon, Chevron, Mobil, Devon Energy, Valero, or an electronically traded fund, which mimics the CL, okay? So keep an eye if there's going to be a change in trend and we clear that 51.50, 52 area, look for the upside of 53.50 to 54.75 area. That's what I'd like to see back in oil, at least a partial retracement back up here for oil. Okay, I'm not trying to be bullish or bearish, but I'm looking for a setup technically to see if we can clear those levels from before. You can see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is the 7th time. If we can clear that, it goes back up. Okay, let's take a look at Apple. I have a couple of ideas on Apple, a couple of other instruments in Amazon, Tesla, Netflix, and I'll go through them. Let's zoom in here. Apple, as long as it's above the 315.75, I think it's bullish. We had that V shape. We had that gap down, push up, Monday down, Tuesday gap up, Wednesday up, Thursday higher, missed the prior high, came back in. If it consolidates and holds this area, look for a reversal back up. If it falls, because there's the manufacturing in China plus the coronavirus, we're not sure what the outcome will be for Apple on delivering new phones. The issue with the medical situation over there, and transmitted the virus to other countries, so they are in lockup and their manufacturing has slowed down because they are not working in their manufacturing. But keep an eye if there is a possibility of a U-turn and continuation higher in Apple. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon did a great delivery on their earning report, gap up. The prior highs are already reached. Keep an eye if Amazon can continue higher or reset. I'm watching basically for a small reset in Amazon, not all the way to the island, come back in and continue higher. Let's see what Amazon can do. I'm not saying anything about Amazon. I'm just leaving it alone. I like Apple more. Let's take a look at FB, Facebook. Facebook is in the bottom of this channel here. If it's going to hold the 50 SMA, it has to clear the 61.8 in order to continue higher. It's got an island here. Since the earning report, it had that gap down, tried to come back up, hasn't been able to clear this year. It has to clear the 61.8 in order to continue. Just watching it. I'm not doing anything with Facebook. Let's take a look at Google. Google L is a rounded bottom. That's what I'd like. I mean, you had this push down. Thursday was down day, Friday. We had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday trying to clear. If the Google clears this area, I think continuation. If Google falls back through this candle, look for the 50 SMA. So I'd like to see Google continuation, not fall through this candle to come back down. Let's take a look at NFLX. Netflix, I like this channel. We had this prior channel. Every time it came down, it went back to the channel, came down, went back to the channel, and it actually gapped through it. We have a sharper channel here. We have two, let's call this 1, 2, 3. If this time it'll clear this area, the target is actually around the 388, 390 area, 395. If Netflix cannot clear that area. Look for the reset back to the 18 SMA and partially where it broke out at 340. So there's two scenarios, 390, 395 or 350, 345. That's Netflix. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla on their earning report really pushed very hard. We reached the print and target. We had a gap up. We looked at the 950 area, fell down. If Tesla, if Tesla can stay above the 820, 780, I think there may be a possibility of a push higher in the 1,000 range. So you can do a 950, 1,000 Tesla, and you can do the other side, which is the, from that earning report, we have from here to here 700 to 950. That's 250. If we move the other side 250, we can look at the back side of this area. We can do a 500, 475, or a 950 to 1,025, 1,050. Opposite side you can do. I'd like to see Tesla continue back up if you like to buy the shares. If not, you can do like a broken wing butterfly on either side, and you can get either side, this area here or the other side up here. So that's Tesla. Let's take a look at Boeing. That's my last one, which I really missed. Boeing, I'd like to keep Boeing above the 328 in order to stay bullish, 325. If Boeing can consolidate here, create a cup, like this is a shoulder, this is the head of it, and if we can create a cup and clear the 345, that would be great. The up target would be where it fell down from, this candle up here, which is around 355 to 365. So is it a possibility of a cup and handle? As long as it can stay above the 325, 328, consolidate and U-turn and create a cup and go higher, that would be the first target, which is the 200 SMA 116 in this channel, eventually the 355 to 360, 365, which is prior candle up here of this consolidation that pushed us lower before the earning report. If Boeing solves their problem on the plane and are able to deliver by June, July, I think there's a potential Boeing going higher, and I like the setup on Boeing. I like the Tesla setup, and I like the Netflix setup to the upside. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you at Solstice ATR or Vulcan Capital Research. You can check us out on the website or on Discord, and to help you set up your 2020 goals in your trading, ask us how. Over and